Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am here to talk about Marc-Andre Barriault versus Eryk Anders, and let me say, I've never seen so many fucking similarities in a fight breakdown. Marc-Andre Barriault has a record of 15-6, Eryk Anders 15-7. Okay? Eryk Anders' his record breaks down 9 wins via knockout, 1 submission, and 5 decisions. Marc-Andre Barriault has 10 knockouts, 1 submission, and 4 decisions. And then their losses are identical as well, nearly identical. 7 losses for Anders, 1 knockout, 1 submission, 5 decisions. 6 losses for Barriault, 1 knockout, 1 decision, 1 submission, and 4 decisions. It's insane. And even two of his losses, or they share 2 of the same losses. Junhyun Park and Krzysztof Jotko beat both these guys by decision. And that's pretty much where the similarities end. I hope you were as thrilled with that as I was. All right, let's break it down. Marc-Andre Barriault, the one guy to knock him out is Chidi Njokuani. That happened on my birthday last year. Got him out of there in 30 seconds or so. Fluffy Hernandez, he got him out of there last year as well, and that was with a third-round arm triangle choke. That's Fluffy Hernandez's thing, as we saw earlier this month. You know, not that he won via arm triangle, but wearing somebody down and getting him out of there in round 3. So those are forgivable losses. The 4 decisions are to Junhyun Park, Krzysztof Jotko, Andrew Sanchez, and this guy Valley. I don't know his name, but either way, Marc-Andre Barriault avenged that Valley loss. He's coming off a big win over Julian Marquez, got him out of there in round 2. That was an excellent performance from him. It wasn't the most dominant fight until it was. Once he smelt blood in the water, it was like watching fucking Jaws. And he just, he tore apart Julian Marquez. That was, a really cool moment. Once he smelt that blood, he poured it on and just really upped the volume and insisted on the finish and got it. And before that, he got Jordan Wright out of there in round 1, which, it's not as impressive. It's Jordan Wright. But still, good enough move for Marc-Andre Barriault, especially getting the guillotine choke, his only submission, and it comes over a UFC fighter. So, good enough. He's also gotten finishes in the past over Oscar Piakota in round 2 and Abu Azaitar round 3. That was another really cool moment where he turned it up at the end, insisting on a finish. At the very end of the fight, once he got into the full mount pretty much, and he got it. But we've seen him fight comfortably for 15 minutes in the aforementioned losses. I love using that word. I'm such a pretentious cocksucker. And in victories as well. Dalcha Lunjambula, that's the guy he beat by decision last. Marc-Andre Barriault, I think he's more trustworthy in this fight. It's a very close fight, but I do trust Marc-Andre Barriault more. I like his combos and pressure. I think he's more effective with straight punches and the jab and everything than Eryk Anders. He probably doesn't hit as hard as Eryk Anders. Eryk Anders is a pretty hard hitter. Again, their stats break down about the same, so whatever. Maybe they hit exactly the same. But I trust Marc-Andre Barriault's cardio and pressure a little more. I trust Eryk Anders' physicality a little more in this fight. So they each have their strengths, but Barriault I'd consider to be the better workhorse. And I think if this fight did go to a decision, I would favor him to win. Especially because it's in Canada. Eryk Anders, he has that 1 knockout loss to Thiago Santos, which was just a fucking exhausting, brutal beatdown. Just really tough to fucking digest, that loss. But it was a really good fight. He showed a lot of grit and heart, but in the end, he just had to give. And then the 1 submission loss is to Andre Muniz, who got him out of there by breaking his arm. Now, he broke Jacare's arm, but he just armbarred Eryk Anders in a very similar fashion. And then the 4 losses by decision are to Junhyun Park, Krzysztof Jotko, Khalil Roundtree, Elias Teodoro, and Lyoto Machida, which is more than 4 losses. I'm fucking stupid. You could argue he won that Machida fight. I remember that. That was razor thin, 5-rounder. I haven't seen it in some time, but that was, a a very close fight, and that was his big first step up as a main eventer. He was getting a push there, and it didn't go his way. And not that that's the reason why he's had mixed results since, but still, I would like to consider it a pivotal moment. That fight there. He has a big victory. He's coming off a big victory, TKO over Kyle Dawkins. I think Kyle Dawkins is done fighting as well, so Eryk Anders smashed him into retirement. He's gotten victories. Vinicius Moreira knocked out Rafael Natal way back. I was actually at that fight. And he's had some close battles as well. Darren Stewart and GM3, Gerald Mearshart. That was a close battle. Eryk Anders is a very comfortable grappler. I believe he's a black belt, jiu-jitsu black belt, and been so for some time. He's a better athlete, and I expect him to win the physicality battle, kind of. But I don't think this fight's going to be decided by physicality. I do think Eryk Anders might find a little success with that overall, but eventually this is going to turn into just a pure grind. A battle of wills and cardio. And I'm expecting Marc-Andre Barriault to get the better of him. I think this is going to be a close fight. I do envision it going to a decision just because both guys are very durable and, again, have only been defeated by knockout once each and submission once each. But I think that's largely off the table here because despite Eryk Anders being a comfortable jiu-jitsu black belt who's, taken on plenty of grappling matches recently, or at least one anyway, I think Eryk Anders is not inclined to get a submission. He's talked about it recently, like in the last year or two. I was listening to an interview with him where he said he wants to get that submission in the UFC, but, it's just not who he is as a fighter. It's good to have that jiu-jitsu black belt, but it doesn't mean you have to use it to, attain the full mount. Some guys are just more inclined to be strikers, So this fight, I expect it to be close. Two meat trucks going at it. I expect both to have success. I think Eryk Anders, while physicality is the what it's all about, he'll be bullying Marc-Andre Barriault around a little bit. But in the end, I'm expecting Marc-Andre Barriault to take over this fight, especially down the stretch, up the volume a little bit, and outwork Eryk Anders to a decision. Marc-Andre Barriault, his decision line is plus 165. I don't love that. To be honest, I like Eryk Anders' decision line. Despite picking against him, his decision line is twice that, plus 300 for Eryk Anders. I think that's worth a sprinkle, because I do think if either guy wins, it's probably by decision. But, again, the pick is Marc-Andre Barriault. I played him in parlays. His money line is minus 125. That's good enough for me. These guys were even a few days ago. But, Marc-Andre Barriault is the pick. I think he outworks him in Canada. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.